Hello, welcome. You are listening to Dr. Sushma Singh. Today we start Unit 15, the middle class. Analysis of the middle class in contemporary capitalist society has been lacking in systematic discussion. This is also the case in a society such as India. There has been an ongoing debate on what constitutes the middle class in India. However, a comprehensive understanding of the middle class in India is still far from complete. In this unit, we endeavor to understand the concept of middle class in India in contemporary times. We have divided this unit into 4 sections. In the first section, we discuss the concept of class from various perspectives, following which in the second section we focus on the definition of middle class and its evolution in India. The third section will be devoted to understanding the middle class in contemporary India. The fourth section explains the values related to family, marriage, and kinship amongst the middle class. And in the final section, we bring the discussion to a conclusion. Now let us move to the point concept of class. Before entering into any theoretical discussion on what constitutes the middle class and whether India has a middle class, it becomes pertinent to understand class as a concept. Right from the time of classical thinkers, myriad viewpoints on class have been put forth. Karl Marx defined the social class as an aggregate of persons who perform the same function in the organization of production. In Marx's theory, social classes in different historical periods are given different names such as freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guild master and journeyman, oppressor and oppressed. Classes are distinguished from each other by the difference in their respective position in the economy. Since social class is constituted by the function which its members perform in the process of production, the question arises why the organization of production is the basic determinant of the social class. Fundamental to this theory was Marx's belief that work is man's basic form of self-realization. Stating the fourth aspect of production, Marx propounded that these explain why man's effort to provide for his subsistence underlie all change in history. Following from this, Marx asserted that the fundamental determinants of class is the way in which the individual cooperates with others in the satisfaction of his or her basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Other indices such as income, consumption pattern, educational attainment, or occupation are so many clues to the distribution of material goods and of prestige symbols. Interpreting Karl Marx's viewpoint, Lipset and Bendix explain that the income or occupation of an individual, according to the Marx, is not an indication of his class position, that is, of his position in the production process. Marx believed that a man's position in the production process provided the crucial life experience, which would eventually determine the beliefs and the actions of that individuals. As Marx cited, the organization of production provides the necessary but not a sufficient basic for the existence of social classes. Taking the examples of bourgeoisie and proletariat, Marx illustrated the manner in which he and we seized the emergence of a social class. Put simply, Marx viewed social class as a condition of group life, which was constantly generated by the organization of production. He went on to elaborate that the existence of the common condition and the realization of the common interest are only the necessary, not the sufficient basis for the development of a social class. Only when the members of a potential class enter into an association for the organized pursuit of their common aims does a class in Marx's sense exist. Marx did not simply identify a social class with the fact that a large group of people occupied the same objective position in the economic structure of the society. Instead, he laid stress on the importance of subjective awareness as a precondition of organizing the class successfully for the economic and the political struggle. Marx felt that the pressures engendered by capitalism would determine its development in the future. Subjective awareness, in his view, was an indispensable element in the development of the social class, and this would arise with growing contradictions inherent in capitalism. Writing on Marx, Eric Olin Wright points out that although the former did not systematically answer the question, what constitutes a class, but yet most of his work revolve around two problems: the elaboration of abstract structural map of the class relations and analysis of concrete conjectural map of the classes as actors. From the abstract structural account of classes comes the characteristically polarized map of class relations that runs through most of the Marx analysis of the capitalist mode of production in Capital. In contrast to these, the conjectural political analyses are characterized by a complex picture of classes, fractions, faction, social categories, strata, and other actors on the political stage. Elaborating on this further, Wright argues that the distinction between class structure and class formation is a basic, if often implicit, distinction in class analysis. Class structure refers to the structure of social relations into which individuals enter, which determine their class interests. Class formation, on the other hand, refers to the formation of organized collectivities within that class structure on the basis of the interest shaped by that class structure. Put simply, if class structure is defined by social relations between classes, class formation is defined by social relations within classes, social relations which forego collectivities engaged in struggle. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.